Is the New Testament history's greatest ever telephone game? If you've spent any amount of time listening to or reading Bart Ehrman, this is perhaps what you might think. After all, we have copies of copies of copies of copies of copies, with over 400,000 differences between them, and that's just in Greek. That's more differences than there are words. It almost sounds like scribes found some strange hobby. Start off copying a manuscript, then burn the original, then make a copy of a copy of a copy, and then burn the copy of the copy, and repeat. Many fans of Bart Ehrman seem to think that he believes the New Testament we have today is not remotely like the originals, and that essential Christian beliefs have changed drastically over time. But is this what Ehrman actually thinks? Here's what he says in an interview found in the appendix of the paperback version of Misquoting Jesus on page 252. Bruce Metzger, who is a Christian scholar, is one of the great scholars of modern times. I have nothing but respect and admiration for him. If he and I were put in a room and asked to hammer out a consensus statement on what we think the original text of the New Testament probably looked like, there would be very few points of disagreement, maybe 1 or 2 dozen places out of many thousands. The position I argue for in Misquoting Jesus does not actually stand at odds with Professor Metzger's position that the essential Christian beliefs are not affected by textual variants in the manuscript tradition of the New Testament. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, that's just what Ehrman said in the paperback. Maybe he was softening things up for the casual reader. Does he say the same or something similar, at least, in his serious hardcover work? Well, yes, in fact, there's more. On page 207 of Misquoting Jesus, he says, to be sure, of all the hundreds of thousands of textual changes found among our manuscripts, most of them are completely insignificant, immaterial, of no real importance for anything. Then again, on page 55, most of the changes found in our early Christian manuscripts have nothing to do with theology or ideology. Far and away, the most changes are the results of mistakes, pure and simple. Slips of the pen, accidental omissions, inadvertent additions, misspelt words, blunders of one sort or another. So there you have it. According to Ehrman, essential Christian beliefs are not affected by textual variants, and most variants are completely insignificant. Maybe we have so many variants because we have so many manuscripts. What scholar Dan Wallace calls an embarrassment of riches. And remember too, the 400,000 plus variants are just in the Greek manuscripts. That doesn't even count translations into Latin, Coptic, Syriac, or other languages. All of this, of course, makes centralized corruption even harder, with manuscripts dispersed throughout the ancient world and in different languages. So back to the question, is the New Testament the biggest game of telephone ever played? Actually, the evidence shows it's closer to a carefully copied archive than a party game gone wrong.